Okay, so this is my first lecture for you guys in sports med. I'll probably go a little faster than normal. So if you need to pause to write stuff down, then you can do that. All right, so we're starting a new unit, which is environmental conditions, how that affects the body, how that affects participation in sports, and then how do we treat it. Okay, so we have talked a lot about homeostasis with vital signs and how the vital signs are an indication of when the body's out of homeostasis and how they can kind of help us identify what's going on and what underlying disease, condition, injury has caused that movement outside of homeostasis. With environmental conditions, they can also push the body out of its home. They can push the body out of homeostasis. Okay, so the primary things in the environment that do that are heat, cold, damp or windy conditions. They can exacerbate. I can't talk today. The damp and windy can make the cold feel worse. Also, pollution. Okay, so in a sports environment, these conditions can um, create health problems for our athletes, and then you need to know how to treat them and deal with them. All right, so today we're going to look just at heat injuries and things that arise in a hot environment. That's of particular importance for us in Southern California, as you know, that is the predominant weather that we go through. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is an environmental heat stress, which is dehydration. Okay, so when we're out in the heat, we lose body water. I think that's obvious. Okay, through perspiration and sweat, which is there to keep us cool. If we are exercising or under exertion, the amount of perspiration is going to be higher, and perspiration, along with urination, is going to deplete the body of water. And if that isn't replaced, you are going to become dehydrated. Okay, the way that you can assess yourself for dehydration is urine color. Okay, so it should be like straw colored or translucent. If it's at all dark, yellow, orange, brown, then you have problems. Other ways that you can assess hydration is sometimes the quality of the skin, particularly when you're dehydrated, you can feel kind of almost a roughness to the forehead. And then the last thing is skin turgor, which is basically tenting of the skin. I have to get my arm in here. Basically, as you squeeze and pinch your skin, if it's really dehydrated, it will stay up a little bit of longer than normal before it flattens out. Okay, so that's skin turgor. All right, so let's keep it going. The rate at which you perspire is affected by the humidity in the air. Okay, so humidity, basically, that's the amount of water that's in the air. If you are in a high humidity environment, we get slower evaporation of water off of our body. So a high humidity environment is going to be somewhere like Florida, if you have been there, where you just feel sweaty and damp and everything feels close. California is actually the opposite. It's often pretty dry here, though we do have some times of high humidity. If we have high humidity and we have that slower evaporation, basically that makes the sweat less effective. So the sweat just pools on your skin and it doesn't evaporate, and it's not using that body temperature to change state. It's basically due to the relative humidity, the difference between your skin and the air. But basically, it makes things feel warmer. Okay, so the more humid the air is, the hotter it feels. All right, I've got 30 seconds before it cuts out, so I'm going to pause now and pick it up in a second.